Hey everyone, it's Steve here with another CG Geek Blender tutorial. Except this one is going to be new for my channel. This one is going to be on character creation in Blender. And that character of choice will be Olaf the Snowman from Frozen. So I haven't done any character tutorials yet on my channel. And it's because I haven't had a whole lot of experience with it. But I have done my share of characters here and there. And I think it's time to show the process and teach how to create one of these. So I'll possibly do a series on this, but for now we'll just start with Olaf. And this might be a few-part tutorial as it's a little bit time-consuming, but a lot of fun, and you should learn some great character creation tips. So let's open up a new blank scene in Blender. And the first important thing to do to get a good character recreation like this, because we know what we're going to be creating, basically we want to bring in some reference images of that character. If you were doing your own made-up character, you'd want to draw some sketches or something so you have a good idea of what you're going for. But yes, I'm going to bring in a few images here to kind of copy. So I'm going to split my window here and split it one more time. Let me quick change it to the UV image editor first, and then I'll split that so I have two UV image editor windows over here. And I'm just going to open up some reference photos. So I have a few photos here of Olaf. You can see some nice shapes and get a good idea of what you're going for. So I'll open one there and then open up the other one here. Alright, so they're pretty similar photos, but two different angles slightly. And should be a good amount of, well, enough to follow along with. Anyways, so we don't need the cube. We're not going to be doing this with box modeling. We'll instead be doing it from scratch, basically with a plane. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that cube with X, and let me Shift A, add in a plane. Hold on, let me quick turn on my screencast keys for you guys. Alright, there you go. Now you can see what buttons I'm pushing down here, so you can follow along if I miss something. So I'm going to go ahead and Shift A, add in a plane. And it's a basic plane. I'm going to rotate it with R 90 degrees along the X axis. And I'm going to hit Tab into edit mode and go Control R, put one cut down the center there. And now I can delete this half here. X delete, just box select that off. And go to your modifiers and add in a mirror modifier. There we go. And choose clipping. And that should do it. We'll also add in a subsurf modifier real quick. And let's crank that up to 2 for now. And that should do it for the modifiers for now. So what I want to start off with is the top of his mouth, because I feel like it. I think it's an easy way to start, and we'll just kind of shape the top round corner of his mouth here. So we're starting on the head, and of course the head is going to be the most challenging part on this, but it's a good challenge for getting some good character modeling experience. So I'm just going to scale that up along the Z, and let's kind of pull that in to keep it nice and squared off. Alright, and go to top view. And I'm going to start off by just doing the curvature of his nose. Or, yeah, you could call it nose, bottom of his nose, top of his mouth. And to do this, I'm just going to hit E, extrude out, and bend these vertices around like so. Just extruding a few times. Something like that. Alright, so we have a nice round shape there. Let's go ahead and select our mesh and tab out of edit mode and click smooth for smooth shading there. Alright, looking good. And we're just going to work on, yeah, the curve of the top of his mouth there. So we want to put a cut in here, I think. We'll go Control R, put a cut there, kind of pull this up a little bit. And then we want these to obviously be rounded over. So, well, hang on, let's not put that cut there. Just Command Z that real quick. And I'll just grab these vertices up here, these two there, and I'm going to extrude them back for the nose. So, extrude once, and what you want to keep in mind is we're going to be making this, we're going to be making it, trying to keep everything as faces, squares, because that's going to be the best if you ever want to animate your character. So keep in mind that you never want this, you never want a triangle. That's terrible for animation, and if you can avoid it, you want to avoid that. So you're going to want to make sure that at all stages you're keeping it at faces. Now for extruding this out, I think I can select all 3 vertices there, and I'm just going to extrude it out And then you can see that if I face this off here, it would be triangular, and I don't want that. So I'm going to extrude again. And now we have enough faces there for a face. So I'm going to go ahead and scale this along the Y to 0. So we just have nice straight vertices for now. And extrude this back to this row of vertices, and one more time to this row of vertices. Now you can grab those 4 vertices there, just holding Shift and right-clicking, and hit F on your keyboard to face them all off. So perfect. We got some nice square faces, and that's exactly what we want. So there's the top of his nose. Great. Made some progress. You can turn on proportional editing and kind of shape that if you want now. Just rounding it over nicely, pulling it down, and getting whatever shape you want. Maybe pull these vertices back a little bit, and just kind of double tap G, slide those around a little bit. And there's the top of his nose. All right, so let's go up to his eyes and go ahead and do that. So I'm going to grab these 3 vertices there. Again, let's pull this down a little bit. Extrude, and I'm going to pull it back to about there. And you figure his face will come up around here. So let's pull it back just a little bit. And extrude, pull it up, extrude, pull it up, and extrude, pull it up. And this top vertex here we'll want to start rounding off a bit. So let's adjust the size of our proportional editing there with our scroll wheel. And kind of pull it over to something like that. Right, extrude it one more time. And that's looking pretty good. We can kind of come around the back there. And we're in business. All right, so let's kind of pull the face around here now and finish up the top of his head portion here. So I think we're going to want to pull these in just slightly. So if you hit C on your keyboard, you can bring up this circle select. And you just grab those faces there and kind of pull them in a bit. That looks good. Maybe pull this one out a little bit. There we go. And pull that one back just a little bit. Okay, so I want these to kind of circle around. And again, we want to keep everything as square vertices, faces, basically. So no triangles, or n-gons you call it, where it's more than 4. All right, so with these 2 vertices here selected, I'm going to extrude, pull it out this ways. You can see we have a face right there if we want. That's good. Go ahead and continue extruding. So just extruding to where the faces will line up good there, looping around the back of the head. All right, so that's looking good, and yeah, that should work out just fine. We might want one more row of vertices in here. So to do that, we could just grab this vertice here and extrude out. That would be a face. Extrude out one more time. That would be a face. And you can see where I'm going with this. So then we could grab these and those 2 and face them off. And I think that'll be best because you can see his face kind of extends out here further. So a little extra geometry there would be good. So then let's grab these 3, 4 vertices there, face them off, kind of square that off a little bit, pull it around there. Very good. Those 4 right there. Well, maybe this one needs to be pulled up a bit more there to kind of work with the other ones. And then we can face those off and face these off. Always selecting just 4 and getting by with that is your best option. Okay, so there we go. We have our mesh coming together nicely, and I don't think we need this edge loop here, so we can just select that with Alt and right-click, and then go X, delete edge loop. Okay, so let's just grab that middle vertice there and extrude it out the last few sections there. Perfect, and then let's just face off the rest of these. So 1, 2, 3. There we go. And same thing across the top. So yeah, this is one method of modeling that I've been using lately. I have done a lot of the box modeling as well, but I've been kind of liking this because of the control you get. It's been a bit easier, I found, to do it this way. It's a little more time consuming maybe, but easier, I thought. So let's grab those top 3 vertices again, go to the side here now, and extrude them out. We'll need one more extrusion there to get faces. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. And then we'll extrude down to here and extrude down to there. And we can finish off the back of his head now. So just face those off. And the last one there. Okay. And that's a pretty good start to his head. Pretty satisfied with that. Let's grab the center there. Kind of give him that bump that he has. Alright. And then we'll probably want to pull, if I go to wireframe here, pull these vertices in a little bit. Because his eyeballs will be in there. We don't want them to... we want him to be kind of accentuated, sticking out of his head a little bit there. So, there we go. All right, so let's start on the inside of his mouth now. We got the top of his head in order, and let's just move on to the bottom of his mouth now here. Okay, so for the inside of his mouth, I'm just going to go ahead and grab these 3 vertices again, similar to what I did across the top. Maybe just pull them up a little bit there, and extrude them. This time going underneath. And again, you got to keep in mind what you'll be facing off. I'll need 2 extrusions here to get a face there. So sticking in right view here, you can see what viewport I am by looking at the text right there. I'll do 1 extrusion there. We'll scale it along the X or Y a bit to kind of straighten up those vertices. And go ahead and extrude them again. And extrude them like so forth. Back to about that point there. And then this is where we're going to kind of curve around and come back again. So you don't want to go past that point. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and face these off now real quick. And there we go. Alright, so let's select that that bottom row of vertices now and kind of pull it up inside the mouth so his mouth kind of curves around. Maybe kind of rotate those down a little bit too. If I hit Z, you can see him in there. Alright, so yes, now I want it to come around for the bottom of the mouth. We'll have his mouth about halfway open for this. It's a good medium point for if you want to animate him. So we'll do that, and I'll just go E, extrude, kind of pull these around a little bit, and come back out. Alright, I'm not quite sure how many extrusions I'll need, but I can always add or take away some if I need to. Alright, so we'll do that. And then what the heck, let's just go down and do the shape of his, basically the whole top part of his head. So with these 3 vertices selected, I'll go extrude 1 more time there to kind of give him a lip. And then I'll work my way down. So kind of coming down to right about there is good. We'll extrude around, just giving ourselves the rough shape. Come back up to the back of his head there. I don't need that last one there. There we go. Alright, so we have a very rough shape here, but it's good to get your shape together. So let's just kind of work on this now a little bit with proportional editing still enabled. We can move our vertices around and kind of position them how we want them. So something like that is going to do it. Let's go ahead and connect it at the back here by facing off these few portions here. There we go. And all right. So let's go ahead and work on finishing up the mouth here now. So I'm going to want to basically take these faces here and wrap them around. So I'm going to go to top view and just extrude these out, kind of pulling them around. You can see I'll have I'll need this one to be up a little bit closer. Whoop, turn proportional editing off now. Need this one to be a little bit closer for the face there. Alright, right there. But then after that, I can go ahead and extrude, pull them out. Let's scale them along the Y a bit to straighten them up now that we're coming around the corner there. And keep it lowish, but we'll just extrude. Alright, I'm not quite sure how many I'll need. I'll come back and add more if I need more, but just kind of following the vertices along the top there, around the corner there. Alright, cool. So let's go ahead and kind of reposition these now to match up with these here. So I'll do that, just grabbing that edge loop with Alt right click, and we'll kind of line up those vertices there and face them off. So we're connecting. We're making a full solid shape now. It's looking pretty good. We're making some good progress. Let me go out of wireframe now. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish off the bottom portion here, and then we'll worry about the mouth area there some more. Here I'm going to want to extrude it once. There'll be a face there. And, well, let me just go ahead and extrude across, and then I'll add them where I need them. It's sometimes easier just to do it that ways. Alright. Maybe I'll go ahead and put another row in there. Control R and put a cut over there. Alright, that looks like it'll be best. And I can go ahead now and start facing off. So just, whoops, not there. Extrude this one across as well, kind of matching up with the bottom one here. And let's start making faces. Haha, we're making faces. So there, right there would be good. Let's pull that vertice out of there. And we'll just go across the whole body there like we did below it. And yeah, just slowly piecing together our mesh face by face. It's kind of, like I said, it's kind of time consuming doing it this ways, but it's also pretty satisfying, and you get the most control over it. So I like that aspect of it as well. So let's just get that last one extrusion in there, and we can face that off. And well, it looks like we might need one more too. So we'll just bring that one down there, and face that, and face that. There we go. That one's kind of pointed out there. Let's just pull her in. There we go. Nicely. Alright. And then we have our vertices down here already as well. And I'll need to put an edge loop in here, so we just can Control R, pop that one in there. And we can go ahead and face these off. Let me just kind of pull this one over. We'll just do that one there. And I'll need another one here, so Control R, put a dot there, or a vertice, not a dot. And go ahead and face away. So we'll need one more there too. Control R. Boom. So slowly but surely making our way down the side of the mesh there. Alright, and then for the bottom here, we might need one more edge loop here. So I'll just pop one in there, Control R, and face off those bottom faces. So that looks to be, hang on, we need one more in there, unless, well, yeah, we have that one there. We do need one more in here. So go ahead and Control R, one more. Let's just extrude that one up there, to there, and we have these, boom. We have these, boom. And I guess we have another, well, let's just see. We got this one, and then yes, we have, you can see here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I don't want that. So I'm going to Control R, put one more cut in there. Let's kind of spread these apart. Let's just double tap G to kind of slide that one out of there. And now I can take this one with that one, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so all faces, perfect. You can see when you select it with Alt and it's a whole edge loop like that, we got it just the way we want it. So let's just kind of pull those out and straighten up some of the vertices here and there. But we got it all connected down there. So awesome. Let me see here. Just pull this one back there. Control R. Add in 2 edge loops here. And we'll just face off these. So you can get pretty quick at this. Once you get the hang of it, everything moves very quickly. And you get some nice results. Right now it's very squared. Don't worry about that. We'll be rounding that off later. But now it's time for the corner of his mouth here. This is probably, not to scare you off, but the trickiest part of the mesh. And it's just because you're working inside the mouth here and it's getting kind of claustrophobic and a little bit tough to see. One thing that will help is if I choose this option here, you can see the vertices through the mesh, and so everything is a little bit more visible that ways. But we basically have to wrap it around and come out along the bottom there. So let's just grab those 2 there and go extruding. So we get that right there. We could face off those 4 there. So face those off, and basically there's going to be a gap here now because obviously there's supposed to be like a, where his mouth kind of comes to a pinch there, but we still want to keep it all faces. So let's just pull these out here, extrude them out, so we'll have those faced there, and then kind of loop them over. Alright, nice. We'll go ahead and face that off there. And let me see here. We got this face here to piece together. Whoop, no, we're missing a vertice there. Whoops, don't do that. Just extrude that out there and face it off. And then one more there we can connect to the bottom here. So those 4 and those 4. And then we have these 4 here as well. It's almost like a puzzle. You could think of it as a puzzle. It's a little bit challenging, but satisfying when you complete it. So I'll go ahead and pull these back and these back as well, so I can match up with these here and not have to add another edge loop. We don't really need it. So let me go wireframe here now. See this a little bit better. Got another face going on right there. And alright. So let's go ahead and let me see here. Yeah, we could just extrude these, or at least this one out. And we'll go that ways with it. Following the mesh here. Face that off. And just a little bit left here to finagle. We got these 4 there. That should work like that. We have this edge loop in the center here that we need to fill out too. So just get that one out there, and there we go. We're home free. There. We'll come back and pinch that up later. Obviously, it's not correct right now. But we just got the vertices in place where they should work out okay. So we got that face there. And let's just delete that vertice. Whoops. Delete vertice. And extrude these out at the same time. So let's go extrude. 1, 2, 3. Alright, it's kind of coming out there weird. But we'll just select that row of vertices there and correct that. And there we go. Let's face that off. And we should leave our mesh whole and entire. So just a few more vertices there. 1 there. And might we need another edge loop? I think we do. Yes, we do. 1 more edge loop here. We'll finish it off. And there we go. So it's like the last pieces to a puzzle now. Always the funnest. Whoops, we need 1 more edge loop, it looks like. So let's just kind of give ourselves a little room by moving that one out and put 1 more in there and fill her out. We can always come back and delete them if we find we have too many. But there we go. It's Olaf. No, it's not quite Olaf, but it's getting there. So at this point, obviously we have a lot of reforming to do, but what is nice to kind of smooth out the vertices where they're kind of poking out there and stuff is to just go to sculpt mode and choose smooth. Turn the strength up a bit. Change the size of your brush with F. We'll give ourselves a nice big brush to kind of smooth out the mesh. So there you go. You take out those sharp corners and make it all nice and rounded snowman-like. So nice way to just kind of clean up, cheaty method to clean up your geometry a little bit. And you can also kind of get the shape you're going for. Basically, his head needs to come in here a little bit more, so we'll smooth that in there. And phew, it looks hideous. His mouth needs to go in here a bit too. Not that much though. Our strength might be a little bit high. Let's just Command-Z that a little bit and do that. Cool. All right, so let's get into the fixing part now. Basically, where we make it look like Olaf. So, tabbing into edit mode. Let's just grab his lip there with proportional editing on. Let's turn it to connected, so it doesn't grab this until it travels along there. Yada yada. And then we can kind of pull his mouth into place. I want to kind of pinch these vertices up here for the mouth. Alright, kind of pull these vertices down inside there. Obviously these back here have to come down quite a ways. So we'll pull them down like so. Alright, we can pull these back up. Scroll our proportional editing out. Just kind of shaping the inside of his mouth nicely now. Make him look like a happy character and not a alien from another planet. Kind of leaving a few vertices here for the lip. There we go, a few rows to form that nice lip. And then let's pinch that up there tighter. And let's kind of pull his lip down here a little bit. Alright, gotta pull that down. Alright, well you can see that with just a little bit of moving around, we're getting a nicer looking face. Alright, so let's pinch his mouth down here so it's not so wide. Well, we're just gonna want to pull that down a little bit on its own. And then pull these vertices here over There you go. Getting a little bit nicer mouth shape there. And let's give him kind of more of a smile. Kind of pull these vertices up. Let's pull this one up. Kind of want to form those dimples that he has. That over there gives him a nice genuine smile. All right, pull those up there nicely as well. Give him some. There we go. And that's coming along a lot cleaner looking. All right. So now his nose here needs a little work. Let's pull these out a little tighter, and pull his nose down a little bit. Not quite so much. And it needs to be a little bit pointed more, I think. This is a little bit rounded. So let's grab these vertices here. Command Z that. There we go. And let's just grab those two. That one there. And kind of pull it back a little bit. There we go. And pull that one out just a tad on its own. Alright, this is looping up here nicely, but a little too much. Alright, now let's grab this row of vertices here. There we go. Just alt-click that whole row. Kind of pull it down and in. Because this is going to be the edge of his face there. Alright, good. And let's grab these here. Alright, and pull it up and out. So you can kind of see the shape coming into play already. Now this is way too fat down here. We'll have to pull these in. Just proportional editing should do it. Kind of scale it up a little bit. And not so much cheek. Gosh. And then at the bottom here, let's kind of scale these up a little bit along the Z. Let's unselect that. There we go. Let's pull them up. And then scale on the Z a little bit to kind of round that off. Maybe scale it down just a little bit there too. Pull it in there. Alrighty. His head is too wide right now too. Currently it's too wide. So let's just go ahead and grab everything and scale it down along the y-axis a little bit. Alright. So just getting the proportions in order. Very important, but it's not too hard. Alright, now his mouth needs to be pinched in here even more, I think. So grab that row, kind of pull her in. Okay. That one there a little bit too. Let's grab those and pull them up a little bit. Alright. Coming along nicely. Let's grab this row, pull it down a little bit. Let's scale this row along the Z a little bit. Straighten those vertices up. Cool. Pull them in just slightly. Alright, let's unselect those and just pull in the outer ones. And there we go. Not bad. This still needs to be pulled in though here, I feel. So let's just grab those. And kind of pull them in. Very good. Pull them up a little bit. Pull them in. Just playing around with the proportions. Pretty simple. It's pretty easy with proportional editing enabled. This here, these could be scaled in a little bit tighter. Maybe kind of rotate these actually just slightly. Scale them up a little bit tighter. Give them those nice dimples that everybody loves. Alright, let's kind of pull this up here and pull these down just slightly to give them kind of that crease in there. That looks kind of nice. You can see it over here more. Alright, still creepy looking, so we're not done. As long as it creeped out by your model, it's generally not a good thing, unless you're going for, you know, a creepy monster. But in this case, this is a child's character, so we don't want to freak anyone out with him. So we got to keep working on it until he's not creepy. Okay, so we're making some nice progress though. Scale on the Y there a little bit more. Let's pull the proportional editing up a little bit so it blends that nicer. Alright. His lip is a little bit thin now. Let's scale his lip up to be a little bit bigger. Nice. Let's pull this one in a little bit. Just giving him a nice chubby lip there. It's cute looking. Alrighty. That's not too terrible. Still not real happy with the shape of his mouth though. Let's get that pulled down in there. Let's get that pulled out. Yeah, we gotta pull these out a little bit here. In there some more. And this one needs to come down, round, just forming the shape of his mouth. Giving him a nice rounded smile. Alright, this verse is kind of sticking way out there. Let's grab those two back there. Pull them back. Yeah, these need to come back a bit. Maybe down a little bit. Alright, and then these in here need to just kind of be rounded off a little bit more. Okay, so just the basic tip tapping changing, but that is looking a lot better. Not bad. We're getting a much nicer looking face. Almost there. I wouldn't say we're there yet. I think his face, his mouth is still a little bit small in perspective to his whole body. So maybe you just need to make his body a little bit smaller there. Grab these edge loops, kind of pull him up in there a little bit, and then maybe grab that whole bottom one and pull it up a little bit. Alright, not bad. Getting there. Kind of shape the top of his head there a little bit more. Not bad. Maybe this is up there just a little bit too high. Pull these up a little bit. And these here need to come up a little bit too. You don't want those really long rectangular faces if you can avoid it. Alright, give him little cheeks there. And not bad. So it's looking better. I think his mouth might be coming out a little bit too much though. You see, yeah, his nose can come out about that far, but his mouth is coming out a little too far now, and that's making him, that's adding to the creepiness, if you ask me, that you might be picking up. So let me first make his nose a little bit more narrow there. Okay, these need to come down a little bit though. Let's just kind of pull those back. Alright, that's not too, it needs to be scaled down on the Y a little, or X a little bit. Not quite so much though. Scale on the X just a little bit. Alright. And yeah, his nose can come out a little bit more, but the bottom of his mouth, especially when it's in a smile, should really be back further. So let me just kind of grab his mouth there and pull it back. Yeah, that looks a bit more natural. Not too shabby. Alright, so we can kind of pull that in now. And let's make his top lip a little bit chubbier, just like we did his bottom lip, by pulling these in. There, cute. There we go. Not bad. And just a little bit of finagling. That's looking a lot better. There we go. So you can see how at first he's very kind of creepy looking, but a little bit of tender loving care, I guess you could say, of just moving around vertices, and you'll get what you're looking for. Not 100%, but it's definitely, it kind of looks like a Dr. Zeus character actually, if you ask me. But we're getting there. So I'm just gonna do a little bit more of this. Just kind of keep those vertices all nice and straight together. Nothing jets out in its own way weird. Not too bad. I think it comes down a little bit too much here. It needs to just kind of go up. So let's just kind of grab these here and pull his mouth inward a little bit. Not those so much as these, maybe. Pull it inward a little bit. Yeah, a little bit there is good. And these need to kind of keep inward slightly. Not too bad. And definitely getting better. So this will be continued to be tweaked, obviously, but at this point, let's move on to the eyeballs. As this will be tweaked as it goes, but sometimes having more pieces of the mesh together will make it easier on you to kind of see what needs to be changed once he has eyeballs. Just kind of scale this along the Z a little bit, scale them down a little bit there, pull them up. Same with this row. Scale on the Z a little bit. Scale it down a little bit. Pull it in there. Cool. So yes, let's do a little bit of the eyeballs now, and we'll kind of see how it's coming along with the eyeballs. All right, I think his nose actually is still a little long. So just grab that, pull it in a little bit, and scale along the X just a tad. Alright, that's not bad. Alright, so let's do the eyeballs. So for the eyeballs, I'm going to, let me just quick tab into edit mode here. And I need to pick out which faces here will make the best eyeballs. So first, let's kind of give them an eyebrow. Basically, these vertices need to kind of come over the top there. a little bit. We can kind of pull these around from the back here as well. We have plenty of vertices back here to play around with. So kind of get that in there. These need to come in a little bit here. And then these need to come out here just to kind of round that off. There we go. Cool. These come up a little bit. Alright, so yeah, we get these eyebrows coming up here, and that looks a lot better when you get that going in there. Okay, not too bad. We'll see what it looks like when we add the eyeballs now. So, for the eyeballs, I'm going to want 4 faces. Should do it. And I'm just going to grab those 4 faces and hit I to inset them. Okay, so we have something like that. Let's hit space and type in smooth, and we'll get smooth vertex. Let's just do that a few times, and it will kind of smooth out your vertices into do something like that, a little bit squarish. But if I go to vertices select now, I can basically deselect everything but the corners. Whoop, there we go, and then scale those down a little bit more. Whoops, I didn't get that one there. Just scale those down a little bit more to get a nice rounder eyeball. Cool. So let's just grab those faces again now. They're too small. And scale them up just to about that point. And then kind of round them off some more. You want them to be very round. Very important to be round. Yeah, just tweak them a little bit to get them just the way you want them. That's not too bad though. And just kind of move these around. Something like that's looking pretty good. Cool. Let's grab those 4 faces again. Got them. And let's kind of rotate these outward like so, and pull them up a little bit. Up a little bit higher on its face. Good. All right, we can scale them along the Z slightly. Scale them all up a little bit. And all right, let's work on the eyeball socket. So with those selected, we let me see here. We want to basically we can delete these faces in the inside. So grab those, X, delete faces. And wow, he has holes in his head. Exactly what we want. So let's just pull those down a little bit. There we go. And now I'm going to extrude and turn off proportional editing for now and scale them. Whoops, turn it off again. If you have connected enabled, you have to hit it twice to turn it off. Oh, but go ahead and scale this down a little bit more. And we want to leave enough vertices here for some nice eyelids. So I'll do that once, extrude it, scale it down again, and then pull it back a little bit. Cool. And then let's extrude it and pull it in a bit. All right. And there we go. Still looks creepy, but that's just to be expected at this point. Let me turn proportional editing back on and scale those up a little bit larger. Cool. Something about there. And we don't want him to be too shaped like that. We don't want that like sunken in look, like he's really tired or something. So we can kind of pull that out of there like that. Okay. Cool. Whew. That looks like something from my nightmares. But don't fear, for he will become the Olaf we all know and love. So let's just kind of work that out a little bit there. And if you go to 5 number pad, you can see he's looking like Olaf. If you kind of stretch your imagination a little bit. So let's go ahead and add the sphere in there for the eyeball, so we can kind of work the mesh around it. So just grabbing that edge loop there with Alt and right clicking, and we Shift A or Shift S, go cursor to selected, and that'll put our cursor right inside the eyeball. And you can go Shift A, add in a UV sphere. Now you want to uncheck clipping for this because you don't want them to be merging together. And go ahead and enable smooth shading. Let's tab out of edit mode, smooth shading. Tab back into edit mode. And I want the point of his eyelid here to be facing me. So I'm going to rotate it 9 degrees along the x-axis. And you can see I have proportional editing on. Turn that off. Rotate 9 degrees along the x-axis. There we go. So you get that vertex looking right at you. And then go ahead and scale it down so it fits right in his face. So there we go. It's not too bad. Maybe just pull it back a little bit. And now we have the eyeballs to kind of work the mesh around. So, creepy as ever, but we're making progress. So we can work on the forehead here, kind of pulling out his brow. And this will help give him a lot of character. As soon as you get that in there, it helps quite a bit. More than you'd think. Alright, not quite so much like that though. Just a little bit of that going on. There we go, pull those out, pull those back. Cool. Alright. And not too terrible. We're getting there. We're getting there. Let's do a little bit of smoothing in object mode real quick. Or, I'm sorry, sculpt mode. Let's just turn the size down, the strength down, so it's not doing anything crazy. But we can kind of... Whoops, why don't I see? Alright, there we go. Yeah. We can kind of still smooth out some of these areas that need it. Smooth out the mouth a little bit. Nah, not so much there, though. Right. Smooth out the cheeks. The back of the head here, really. Could use it a little bit. And because he's a cartoon character, he's going to be very well rounded. So go ahead and round him off nicely. Alright, not too much though. You don't want to lose the amount of detail you put into him. But that's getting there. This eyebrow here is, this vertex here is causing problems. We got to pull that one in. We got to pull this one to round it off there. Alright, that helps quite a bit. And let's pull these outward up there a bit. Let's turn proportional editing on, connected, and just kind of pull those out a little bit more. There we go. Kind of pull those up, and whoops, I don't want proportional editing on so much for this part. So just kind of scrub it down so it's not doing much. And just kind of rounding over that forehead. Whoops. You can see if that happens, you need to turn clipping back on. Your mesh is pulling apart. Alright. That's not too bad. And then these down here need to come out. They're kind of looking, kind of give them a creepy look. There we go. Just kind of round those over. Alright. So, we got a sharp point in here that needs to be fixed. Look at the vertices are just kind of stacked up on top of each other there. It can happen when you're working really tight like this with the mirror modifier. But if you turn off clipping, you can then pull them out of there. And let's just grab those three and scale them on the Y to 0. Alright. Good. And we can kind of grab those now and pull them out. Okay. We just don't want them to be too far back there is all. Just need to round them off a bit. Scale them along the Y some more. And just pull this verse in. There we go. And it's helping, but there's still a crease going up here that we can fix by pulling that back. Whoops, gotta turn clipping back on, and just kind of pull that back a little bit there. Pull that back, pull this one forward, whatever you need to do to kind of round over everything nicely. Okay, so we got that in order. We need to kind of pull these up on his face a little bit there, and yeah. Now is kind of the time-consuming part of just tweaking up your model so he looks right. It can take a little bit more time than you might like, but it is very important. If you leave it at this point, people would probably laugh at you because they can see what you were trying to do, but they can see that you failed miserably, unfortunately. So this is the part where I'm going to spend a little bit of time just tweaking his mesh till it looks more like my pictures here. And I'm just going to be using the same techniques that I showed you. Every once in a while smoothing over some of these areas with sculpt mode. And just tweaking it till I am satisfied with it. You can see I got it close, but not there yet. I'm going to just continue tweaking it until I'm satisfied with it. And then I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, so a little bit of tweaking, moving around vertices, smoothing out areas, just what I was doing before, just more of it. gives me a nicer looking result. It's not quite as creepy, and you can see where once it has the materials on it and the rest of the face, obviously, it will look a bit like Olaf. So this is where I'm going to leave it for now, and we'll focus on a few of the different features of his face real quick. One of them being his tooth. So for his tooth, let's just tab into edit mode here. Let's just grab that face there. That should be perfect. And I'll just shift D it. We'll scale along the y-axis a little bit there. Alright, and let's just pull it up a little bit. And I have proportional editing on connected right now, but you don't even need it on. And then I'll just extrude it downward. And then you want to turn off proportional editing, of course. There we go. Boom. Something like that. Looks good. And then we'll Control R, put a cut in the center there, and pull it up nice and taut. So it's nice and taut on top there. And that is the easiest part of Olaf right there. Just needs a little bit of adjusting. I'll put a cut in here too, but not take it all the way down because I want some of that round over edge there. And that's pretty nice looking actually. You can kind of rearrange some of these vertices a little bit, but you get a nice tooth there. Might just want to pull these inward a little bit, so you could slightly give them that curvature of a tooth there by pulling those in a little bit. But there you go. There's the tooth on Olaf's mouth. Maybe give it a little bit of rotation right there, and pull it up nicely. And that looks pretty good. Maybe something a little bit small, but just get up a tad. That looks pretty good. His eyebrows, his nose, those are all things that that will come as well. But I think this part is going on a little bit long, so I'll leave it off at his face modeling there, and then in the next parts we'll come back and do all the easier stuff and make him look just like Olaf. So that'll do it for the part 1 of the modeling process of our Olaf Snowman character from Frozen. And if you've enjoyed this tutorial so far, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and check out part 2 where we continue on the face. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye.